learning runs smoothly. In addition, I appeal to our government to put more investment into higher education so that universities can improve infrastructure in order to create more and conducive space for the ever-increasing number of students. Believe me, this is a good investment for South Sudan. Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States, once said that if a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take that away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Furthermore, I urge our government to set up higher education loan scheme under the Ministry of Higher Education. We can then provide loans to students with financial difficulties. I believe this has the potential of reducing the number of dropouts in our universities. Fellow brothers, as we leave this institution transitioning into the job market, the pasture may not be as green as we expect. One of South Sudan's biggest problems is youth unemployment, partly caused by the small size of our private sector and the failure by some of our institutions to prioritize employment of graduates from our universities. It is my hope that our government, especially the legislators that are present here today, will formulate policies that not only empower indigenous businesses, but also policies that make South Sudan an attractive destination for foreign investment. This will expand the size of our private sector, which is usually the biggest employer. Ladies and gentlemen, the success we are celebrating today wouldn't have been achieved without the support from the many people that are present here today. It is only right that I give a lot of thanks to our parents and friends for all kinds of assistance until this point. To the teaching staff of the University of Juba, thank you so much for guiding us until this point. To the University administration, thank you not only for doing everything possible to keep the university open, but also championing the transformation of this institution. May God bless your efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, I really thank you for your attention. May God continue blessing South Sudan. Congratulations, my colleagues.
Yeah, thank you indeed, graduating student Matiang Longarakwe, for your wonderful speech. It is inspiring to us as well, we the professors and teaching staff of universities here in South Sudan. Our next speaker is actually a man who has a very wide academic and work biography which can take us many hours to mention. But nevertheless, we can say a few things about him. It is always very important to give appreciation for somebody during the time he's making his efforts to improve and excel in whatever assignment that he has been asked or tasked to do. This man is Professor John Aprodakej. This is a person you can say he has not disappointed the people who appointed him to be the Vice Chancellor of Juba University, and he has not also disappointed his predecessors in advancing the mission and vision of University of Juba. Now I would call Professor John Aprodakej, Vice Chancellor of Juba University, to come and give us a speech. You are welcome, Professor John.
Your Excellency, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, and Chancellor of the University of Juba. Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Gabriel Son Shan. Honorable Ministers present, Governor, Deputy Ministers, Honorable Chief of Staff of South Sudan Defense Forces, General Santino Dengwall, Honorable Inspector General of South Sudan Police Service, General Majak Akej, Honorable Mayor, Juba City, or his representative, the Chairman of the University of Juba Council, Honorable Dr. Manas Lamola Waya, the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance, University of Juba, Professor Robert Dane, professors, lecturers, teaching assistants, administrators, staff, and students of the University of Juba, graduates and parents of graduates, all the distinguished guests invited, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On behalf of the administration, staff, and students of the University of Juba, it is my privilege to warmly welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. I want to give very special thanks to His Excellency, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the Chancellor of the University of Juba, for honoring us with his presence. And allow me, Your Excellency, to say that the graduates of class 2021, like those before them, are blessed by your presence. We are humbled and grateful for your unwavering support to our university. We do not take this one for granted. And on behalf of the University of Juba community and my own behalf, I appeal to Your Excellency to feel at home among your staff, your guests, graduates, and parents of our graduates. I would also like to acknowledge and thank Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology for his leadership and for honoring us with his presence. Thank you. I want to thank Honorable Dr. Manas Lomalewaya, the Chairman of the University of Juba Council, for his unwavering support to the University administration and for his wide counsel. I want to thank the ministers, the officials, and all the government officials and who have responded to our invitations to come and encourage us here. So thank you so much for your solidarity. Your Excellency and Chancellor of the University of Juba, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today approximately 100,000 graduates, of which there are 304 females and 1,400 males, will be awarded diplomas, degrees as follows: about 685 diplomas, 751 bachelor's and degrees, 41 postgraduate diplomas, 256 master degrees, and 168 degrees. And for the sake of saving time, I'm going to skip the distribution of those in the colleges so that we save time. The numbers will be actually read out by the deans, so I avoid that. Your Excellency, the Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say congratulations to the graduates of class 2021 for this great achievement. I also want to thank the parents for material and moral support to your sons and to your daughters over so many years. Most importantly, I want to appeal to you, our graduates, to go out and serve in the community with diligence and integrity, to apply what you have learned to tackling the environmental challenges facing our society. Be active citizens who are endowed with humanistic values, empathy, respect, tolerance, and to be conscious about your responsibility towards society. Know that it matters most what you can do to serve society than what the society can do to serve you. We must be lifelong learners, ready to listen to other forms and domains of knowledge, and be humble enough to open up to new learning that will allow you to succeed in various careers in the world of work. You must think globally while acting locally. I would like to encourage parents, especially those who have businesses, to support universities financially, not University of Juba alone, any university wherever it might be found. Such support will go a long way in improving the quality of learning at our universities for the benefit of current and future generations of the students and society at large. Your Excellency, the Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as University of Juba, we see our mission in 3 areas: education, research, and service to community. On education front, which is our first mission, Your Excellency, the Chancellor, on this 23rd vocation in the history of the University of Juba, we are indeed proud to report that since the inception of the university in 1975, the university has witnessed milestone strides reflected in the growth of the faculty, number of schools, academic programs, and student population. As I mentioned earlier, today we are passing out about 1,800 graduates, made up of 1,452 males and 304 females. Currently, despite the myriad challenges facing the university boasts nearly 24,000 students at undergraduate level and about 2,000 postgraduate students. We now host 17 undergraduate schools, some of which also offer postgraduate programs, a graduate college, and then Kwaju Community College in Warabi State. At the postgraduate level, we have the School of Public Service, that teaches public policy, and the Institute of Peace, Development and Security Studies, which is vital for our country. In addition, we host National Transformation Leadership Institute. We will admit students to School of Medical Laboratory Sciences and the School of Petroleum and Minerals when we start the new academic year at the end of this year, 2021. This will bring our programs to a total of 152 programs, of which undergraduate programs are 88, and postgraduate programs will be 64. This is up from 6 postgraduate programs in March 2014 when this administration was appointed. However, Your Excellency, the Chancellor, we do have acute challenges with laboratories. As one of the student representative, the graduate representative has stated, and challenges with lecture halls spaces, to the extent that the students at times stand up in classes due to overcrowding. Our attempts to face up to these numerous challenges have always been thwarted by limited financial resources. As a leading public university in the country, the people of South Sudan are looking to us for leadership in the provision of quality higher education. We are expected to do more with less, but this philosophy obviously does have limits, and we want to bring that to your attention. On research front, which is our second mission, Chancellor, not much is happening because of funding challenges. Few research funds that come through tend to address problems that are seen by donors as priority, but not necessarily national priorities, and they are very limited in scope. This is an area for national attention. Some research happens in our postgraduate programs, but is also constrained by resources. Without good research funding and adequate funding, the University of Juba cannot dream to claim a world-class status. Thirdly, on the service front, which is our service to community, increasingly, Chancellor, we in the academia, civil society, and the general public are concerned about the spiraling inflation, the rocketing prices of essential commodities in the market in South Sudan for the last 6 years, and which has led to a high cost of living, while salaries have remained static for a great majority of public sector employees over the same period. This situation caused economic hardship, and stagnant wages in the public sector continue to push the employees below the poverty line. The affected public sector employees include civil servants, government ministers, members of legislative houses, judges, doctors, nurses, academics, and teachers, and members of organized forces and law enforcement agencies. For example, a private policeman, Your Excellency, currently receives a monthly salary of SSP 1,500. This cannot buy a single meal for a family. A civil servant currently receives a salary of 5,000, could be undersecretary. A member of parliament salary does not exceed 11,000 South Sudanese pounds, and a government minister receives 20,000 pounds per month. And hence, Your Excellency, we are left wondering here at the university, how can policemen, civil servants, members of parliament, and government ministers in South Sudan survive or cater to their families' needs, including feeding, transport, accommodation, schooling, and medical treatment. Another concern at the university here is that civil servants are working past their retirement age, while young graduates with energy are unemployed because of lack of pension, because they continue. And we have heard the brother speaking here. Those are their jobs, but they cannot vacate them because there is nothing to sustain them after that. In addition, medical treatment is now a challenge to all South Sudanese families because of the spiraling cost of private medical treatment and the absence of medical insurance cover against illness, which many countries have, which allows citizens from all social ranks and incomes to have free access to medical care at the point of need. One British statesman once noted, "It is very bad to be sick when you are poor." This is no longer the case in Britain after the Second World War, when National Health Service was established and is now paid for by tax by British people themselves. It's no longer bad in Britain to be sick when poor in that country, but it is bad to be poor and sick in South Sudan at the moment because we have not found solution to this. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this situation, if left unchecked, the situation could lead to social and political unrest in our country in not too distant future. As our contribution to finding homegrown solutions to economic challenges facing our nation, we as the University of Juba want to provide evidence-based solutions that inform economic policy design in the aforementioned areas of concern. Hence, our university and a number of think tanks have been working since January of this year on a framework for reviewing the salaries and wages of employees of public sector. This framework, Your Excellency, has identified the challenges that exist in the current proposed government-proposed public wage structure, and does provide alternative and better approaches to reviewing public sector wages, as well as proposing new public sector wages and salaries that are comparable in terms of purchasing power to the region. The draft report is ready for sharing with the Ministry of Public Service and the Economic Cluster this coming Wednesday. Afterwards, the report will be shared widely, and we hope it will be adopted by our government. The universities, and I mean all the universities, have benefited from the adjustment of the pay in 2019. And we are using our experience to benefit all other sectors of the economy. Again, Your Excellency, your weight and support are going to be critical in the adoption of this new proposal that we are going to put on the table, as it was when we supported the payment of salaries for the staff of universities in our country. And thank you again for that, Your Excellency. The key findings, just a few, is of our report and our study. The key findings of reports include the share of public sector wages bill as percentage of government revenue has declined from 51% in 2011 to now 13% in 2020 budget. In contrast, Kenyan wage bill has remained constant at 18% of government revenue since 2011 over the same period. Also, at the moment, the security sector, which is the army and the security, takes 72% of the wage bills. This starves the other sectors of the government and undermines civil service. Also, South Sudan has one of the largest army and security sector personnel headcount on the continent. It comes second to Nigeria. This is disproportionate to the size of South Sudan, which is 12 million at most, compared to Nigeria, which has 20 million approximately population. Moreover, members of our security sector are paid very low salaries. It may be the lowest on the continent. This, Your Excellency, does not improve security in our country if we do not address it. Before the last, large numbers of public sector employees are unclassified, and it means that real people with real degrees are not there in the public sector, and that shows itself in how the public sector deliver, because the public civil service is the horse on which the country can stand. It is the top civil servants who are highly educated, very analytical, and have understanding, who can translate the speeches of the presidents and the ministers into plans, into goals, into projects. It's not happening at the moment, and is to be blamed on the weak salaries, because the best is not going to work with civil service, is going to work in British embassy, or is going to work with NGO. Is not going to work for South Sudan. Lastly, there is need to widen tax bases. This is what we have observed, and improve tax administration capacity to collect enough taxes if we are to be able to improve public revenue and meet the cost of proposed salary structure. We have proposed a few areas for widening our tax basis in our report. Furthermore, the University of Juba has submitted a concept note on how to improve the delivery of health care at the Juba Teaching Hospital across South Sudan to the Honorable Minister of Health. And we are still waiting for a response. Your Excellency, one corporation told me that the outpatient department is a place of great suffering and anguish. Blood flows on the floor, and the bathrooms and washrooms are locked. That gives you the picture. Nice building, but poor service. The University of Juba is trying to help. How to fix it? As all universities do help their countries. It's not because we know it all, but because we use evidence to advise policy design. It's not unique to University of Juba, it's all common to all universities. We cannot stand and see our government is struggling with right policies. Your Excellency, the Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before closing, I would like to thank Professor Myrie John Blackins, the academic registrar and the chair of graduation ceremony, and his very able team for organizing this graduation ceremony for 6 years in a row, except in 2020 because of COVID pandemic, it could not be done. And this is happening under very challenging economic conditions the country is going through. Well done, Prof. Blackins and your team. Keep going. I also want to thank the deans of our schools, the directors of our institutes and centers, department heads, examination officers, and the foot soldiers, the professors, the teaching assistants, the lecturers. All this is possible because of your effort in the last few years. I also give very special thanks to administrative, technical support and security staff for keeping the university working up and afloat every day, 365 days a year. I want to thank President Proco's team, the SSBC crew, the leadership of the SSBC and the leadership of Ministry of Information for facilitating this wonderful live coverage. I also thank the military band and everyone who contributed to this, to make this occasion so great. Last but not least, I want to thank the Masters of Ceremonies. They are Dr. Moses Hassan Ayatia, the Interim Dean of the School of Pharmacy, Dr. Rose Kostomopro, the Dean of the School of Medicine, and Dr. Fakir Cholwal, the Dean of the School of Law. Thank you very much for your job well done. I also want to appreciate in a small way the staff in my office. My Executive Director Beck, the Deputy Executive Director Nyangwil, Assistant Executive Director Suzanne, Public Relations Officer Germano Taban, my Secretary Margaret Wani, Assistant Secretary Aida Longden, and support staff Aida, Aliyah, Nora, and my driver Taban Isaac. They have been looking after me while preparing for this occasion. Thank you very much. And Your Excellency, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to thank you at this point for listening. And with this remark, I would like to invite the Chairman of University of Juba Council, Honorable Dr. Anas Lamola Waya, to deliver his remark.
Your Excellency, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan and Chancellor of the University of Juba. Honorable Gabriel Chang, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology. Honorable Ministers present here, Deputy Ministers, senior government officials, members of the legislatures, excellencies, ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, Professor John Apriot Akech, Vice Chancellor of the University of Juba, and his deputy, Professor Robert Deng, professors of the University of Juba, lecturers, teaching assistants, all academic staff and non-academic staff, alumni of the University of Juba, graduating students, and all continuing students, parents, guardians, and friends, religious leaders, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, allow me to take this opportunity to congratulate you on behalf of the University Council for gracing the 23rd graduation ceremony of the University of Juba. Thank you and congratulations, Mr. Chancellor, sir. Your presence in this occasion underlines your unwavering commitment to human resources development necessary for social, economic, cultural, technological transformation of our beloved nation, the Republic of South Sudan. To all the graduate students, congratulations. Million Mabrik Alaikum Kulukum for your outstanding achievement that have resulted to this glorious day, the day of your graduation. You have made it. This is a great day for you, your families, your friends, and all those who have participated in one or the other to support you morally, materially, and financially to bring you this far. We thank all those who have made contribution to your success. Congratulations also. The Vice Chancellor, my brother, Professor John Akech, and your strong team, thank you for making this commendable and remarkable academic landmark possible. Surely, it took all of your absolute commitment, perseverance, image, intellect, and unwavering support to the university, to the nation, to bring us this far. The University of Juba community deserves our appreciation for delivering services to our beloved nation through preparing these graduates even during hard and challenging times. Times have not been easy as celebrated by the Vice Chancellor. Economic hardships are known to all of us, and you are going to join the bandwagon, but we are confident that these challenges will be overcome as we move along in the implementation of the revitalized agreement for the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. Holding this happy event, the 23rd graduation ceremony, does demonstrate our resilience. It also sends a clear message to all our people in the country and in the diaspora that we are committed and will continue to do our very best even when conditions are hard. For instance, in the coronavirus pandemic season that we are in, the University of Juba has persisted in providing services, taking into account the recommended safety measures such as keeping social distancing, washing of hands, wearing masks, and other relevant actions required to keep our people safe and secure. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic and Chancellor of the Sudanese universities, and particularly the University of Juba Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the University of Juba Council and on my own behalf, I also thank you most sincerely again for your absolute commitment in standing with the University of Juba leadership, academics and non-academic staff. This has resulted in the graduation of qualified men and women determined to serve humanity and make this country a better place to live in for the present and the future generations. With confidence, Mr. Chancellor, sir, I must say the following: that today we are graduating economists. Today we are graduating economists who will participate in and direct the economic growth and development of our beloved country towards prosperity for all. Today, we are graduating doctors who will join the frontline workers, providing medical services to save lives and keep our people safe from COVID-19 pandemic and other diseases. Today, we are graduating engineers who will join their colleagues in the field in constructing the highways from Juba to Rumbek and Wau, Bor and Manakal, Ngiron and Warap, and to Bentiu, to Torit, Nadapal, to Yeri and Kaya, to Maridi and Tambra. And I'm optimistic that they will not forget the road from Juba to Kajokoji, my hometown. Indeed, today, we are graduating people who have completed various courses in training, who will join the government or the private sector to contribute in making our country prosperous. While we celebrate this commendable achievement, it is worth noting that the University of Juba requires further considerable work for its transformation into a world-class institution of higher learning. For this dream to be realized, we need to put in place excellent facilities that have adequate learning and accommodation space for the increasing number of students and academic staff, as well as non-academic staff. The situation they live in today, Your Excellency, is deplorable, and something has to be done to alleviate this agony. We need to establish quality research and teaching programs and recruit or develop additional high cadre of academia to prepare and produce cutting-edge researchers that can help us solve our national problem as well as the problem of the world where we may find ourselves. Indeed, to transform our university to a world-class institution of higher learning will not come that easily. It requires first and foremost that we have to allocate significant amount of resources, particularly financial resources, from our oil industry. We need to use the oil to lubricate the brains of these young people so that our country can have a very strong cadre and a bright future. As a matter of fact, putting money into higher education is a wise investment for any nation, which will surely yield economic and enormous benefits for this generation and the generations to come. Finally, I would like to share a few thoughts with the graduating students outlined here under. Industry. We need to use the oil to lubricate the brains of these young people so that our country can have a very strong cadre and a bright future. As a matter of fact, putting money into higher education is a wise investment for any nation, which will surely yield economic and enormous benefits for this generation and the generations to come. Finally, I would like to share a few thoughts with the graduating students outlined here under. You can, for all of us, our nation in particular. Graduating from an institution of learning such as this only prepares you to acquire knowledge and skills, but may not give you the job you desire. Do your best and consider creating jobs for yourselves and become job providers. As a matter of fact, some of the most successful people in our country and elsewhere in the world are job creators and not job seekers. I'll tell a story of a colleague who graduated with me at the University of Juba, who decided to go to Kaya to buy cassava, to buy grains, and brought it to Juba. And about a year, he came and told some of us that he had raised enough money to send him through his university at master's level, even up to PhD level. Money that is in plenty in the Republic of South Sudan, which requires peace and complete peace so that we can engage in other activities other than the civil service. But it also needs to be supported. We need our banks to stand up and give us loans so that we can engage in productive activities. Even those of you who might want to go cultivating, we need some soft loan to be able to begin producing food that will stop us from eating from other people's sweats in the neighborhood, even if it costs us a lot. Graduating students, now that you have passed out through this great and remarkable graduation ceremony, remember to translate your knowledge, skills, and attitude into innovative, productive, and tangible service for our people, the nation, and humanity in general. Lift up the name of the University of Juba by your deeds, by your words, and by your actions. Your Excellency, the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, academics, non-academic staff of the University of Juba, graduating students, continuing students, members of the organizing committee of this ceremony, congratulations for this magnificent achievement. God bless you, and God bless the Republic of South Sudan. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving me this honor to invite the Minister of Higher Education, a renowned, hardworking, industrious man who now heads the Ministry of Higher Education. And this is none other than Honorable Gabriel Changshon Chang. You're welcome to speak to this graduation ceremony, Honorable Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. President of the Republic and Chancellor of Juba University. Today is a great day to the family of higher education, and specifically University of Juba, for staging this wonderful graduation ceremony. Your Excellency, you have more than honored us to come and grace this occasion despite your heavy schedule. We appreciate that, and this is because you are the head of all our public universities. So you are highly welcome, and we appreciate your participation. Today, we are graduating 1,850 plus sons and daughters of South Sudan. We are proud of that, and therefore we wholeheartedly congratulate you for a job well done. Again, also, we appreciate and congratulate your families, guardians, who brought you to this far, and we hope they will also coach you in the rest of your life. For Juba University, we have heard a lot of challenges. And with those challenges, they are able to pull off this wonderful graduation ceremony. What did they do? They gave you life skills and knowledge that you are going out to demonstrate that what you learned is not in vain, and you will be the ambassadors of Juba University wherever you will be. So, if you are proud of Juba University, then hold up the torch respectfully, with dignity, and with honor. A lot of challenges are facing our higher education, the universities. Some of them were narrated by the Vice Chancellor. They are real. We are tasked of transforming our universities into world-class universities. But it is not an easy task, because to do that you must have the necessary resources. But we are proud that Juba University, under the leadership of the Vice Chancellor, Professor John, and the guardians of the chair of the University Council, you are making progress. You have started transforming this university to a world-class university. That transformation will not come at once. It is a progressive work, and this is very wonderful. Now then, what we want, and we impress on the University of Juba, the administration, and the students, that quality education must be the dream, must be your aim, because we are not in an isolated land. We are competing with our neighboring countries. So you distinguish yourselves by producing quality education in terms of graduating students who are well-versed, and also in terms of practical research programs. So we will encourage you. In the ministry, we are also trying our level best to strengthen the teaching staff of all our public universities by offering them postgraduate studies. And this will strengthen their standard, and they will be teaching in a state of art, bringing many teaching professors from abroad, reducing the cost. We are also working very hard to make sure that our universities and their counterparts in the region should have exchange programs, so that they learn from us and we also learn from them. That will help us in doing so. Juba University, in comparison with the rest of the 4 universities, there is no comparison. We are talking about 24,000 population of students in Juba University. If you add the other 4 together, they may not even reach half of this population. That is because Juba University was our first university established after the Addis Ababa Agreement, and the government put a lot of resources to get it this far. By the same token, we will also bring to the level the other universities so that they come and catch up with them Juba and help in serving our people. We in higher education, the ministry and the universities, we are tasked to develop human resources for the country. And if we graduate many students without the skills, then we will be failing that mission. That's why we have to make sure that the quality of education we are giving matches with what is required from us. Capacity building in various forms we must embark on so that we help develop the skills of our people. We also appeal, and I was encouraged by the statement of the Vice Chancellor. You have a challenge to always regularly update your curriculum in all areas. And we encourage you to concentrate on technical education, on technical fields. Science-based colleges should be our priority. That is why in the ministry we have 4 proposed universities in Torit, Awil, Yambio, and Bentiu. We want to transform them to colleges so that if we want to develop our industrial base, then we must have technical education that helps in doing so. So we are also working hard to make sure that they are developed. In the universities, I'm sure there are medical students who are graduating today. But what we have learned is that you are lacking the basic facilities for such students to learn practical work. So if you are graduated without practical work, then something is missing. And that is our priority 1, to make sure that laboratories for science, for Faculty of Medicine are provided to all our universities, so that when you are graduated, you are a full graduate, not a half graduate. We recognize that challenge, and we will work to make sure that it is resolved. Then more importantly, some of your colleagues are not in the universities now. If you go to Rumbek, you go to Bur, Tongarang, they are not studying. Why? Because of a very fundamental challenge, which is also facing you. One is feeding. If you don't have food, you cannot also study and be successful. So we are also trying to help in resolving that one. And Your Excellency, we are embarking on a project that may help us in resolving some of these problems, and that is National Student Welfare Fund. The bill was drafted in 2019, but it could not move forward because of some problems. Now we are reactivating it. A committee is working on it. Together with the universities, we will improve that bill, and then once it is improved and passed into law, that one will be a center for financing universities in terms of infrastructure, in terms of feeding, in terms of equipment. And we hope before the end of this year, that bill or that project will see light. And next year, we will be talking of making good use of that project. Your Excellency, all these challenges that are faced by higher education, we don't have anywhere to go, but always to rely on Your Excellency to direct the resources we have to help our universities, and more specifically, last year, 2019, you stopped the brain drain. Our professors, teaching staff were migrating from our universities elsewhere where there were greener pastures. But because of your intervention by approving the salary structure that we have today, that migration, that brain drain has stopped to a considerable extent. And that is why they are producing these wonderful students graduating today. We want the same thing to happen in other areas. We are talking of salary, new salary structure for the government as a whole. And we in higher education, we are saying that the very salary we have that helps us to do this work should not be tampered with in the first place. Second, consideration should be also done. If we increase the government salaries, then we should also increase the salaries of higher education, the universities, so that we keep pace with the development we are embarking on. His Excellency the President and Chancellor of our universities is also soliciting funds for infrastructure for our universities from friendly countries, and if we succeed this year and next year, then we will start the very thing you were talking about, provision of decent facilities for our higher education, for our universities, so that we can also compete with the rest of the region. Recently, we met with His Excellency the President and Chancellor of our public universities, the Vice Chancellors, myself. We had to go and present to His Excellency the problems that are confronting us. And we are very optimistic that something positive is going to come out. The challenge which is facing us now is the closure of universities because of lack of feeding. And we hope His Excellency will give directives so that at least partial payment of arrears of contractors is made, so that they are allowed, they now resume supplying food to our universities, so that there will be no disruption. With disruptions, it will be difficult for students to graduate on time. He's working on that. Our Vice Chancellors and their deputies are working or doing without any mobility from the government. We are also, together with His Excellency, working to make sure that their mobility is provided, and this will help them deliver the services they are delivering now in a qualitative manner. We also heard His Excellency in our meeting that there was COVID-19 funds that was approved last year for the 5 public universities to help them solve some of the challenging problems. That money is not yet paid by our Ministry of Finance, and we hope something will be done to that effect so that at least some resources are available to the universities to do those small things. Yes, as it was said, Rome was not built in a day. Let us not be too ambitious that the government should provide anything we need at this time. It is not always practical. Let us plan well, and let us take our priorities so that they are done. As for the graduates, my little advice is that now you have completed your first test. You have succeeded in getting your diplomas and degrees in education. You are highly welcome to join the public service. And when you go to the Ministry of Public Service or any other government institutions, it will be a difficult thing to find places. As said by the chair of the council, you have to be patient because you will be competing with so many of your colleagues. Again, if you make 10 of you 20, if you make something small, a joint venture, where you put your resources together, then what was said before, getting resources from the bank would be possible. If you have a concrete project that will be used specifically for that purpose. So private sector is we to create it, not others. That was why we were talking of technical education. Now it is you, if you cannot get from public service, then you go to the private sector. One, think big. You think big. What does it mean? It means that you think about your country and its people. If you do that, you will see things objectively and you will succeed in life. Those are the 2 things you have to serve. Secondly, don't underrate your ability as an individual to change things positively. You will say, I'm just a graduate, I'm just a girl, I'm just a boy, I cannot do this and that. Okay? So that is self-defeative attitude. Please don't do that. Be determined, be committed to doing successful things in your life, and you will succeed. God will help you and will help all of us. Thank you very much for this occasion, and we hope Barangizal University, Apanal University, John Garang, and Wimbek will state similar graduations in the very near future. God bless us all. Today is a day His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit and the Chancellor of our public universities. It is through his efforts that we have these facilities, and it will be through his efforts that other facilities will be developed. Your Excellency, we are grateful for your presence, for gracing this grand occasion, and now I invite Your Excellency to address your children and give them the necessary advice. Thank you. Be seated.
شامسون وزير التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي في كرنفال تخريج الدفعة 23 من جامعة جوبا، وما زلنا في نقل هذا النقل المباشر. الكلمة الآن للسيد رئيس الجمهورية.
Professor John Apruot Akech, Vice Chancellor of the University of Juba, all the professors, staff of the University of Juba, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As always, it gives me a great pleasure to join you on this very special and happy day, and to preside over the
various young nation called South Sudan. They were all destroyed by the war. So we have signed the revitalized peace agreement, but the impact of war on our economy is still lingering. I am bringing up this because I do not want you to be discouraged by the situation you will face after leaving this place. As you walk out from here, I would like you to remember that we are a country of vast potential. What is needed is for people like you who have acquired knowledge to use this knowledge creatively to realize opportunities for yourselves and others. We are all called upon to be part of the solution by embracing hard work in all sectors, and you can lead the way for us by applying your knowledge. Regarding employment in the public sector, the government will consider merit-based recruitment policy. This policy will target young graduates from our universities for employment in the public sector. We will work with the concerned ministries to ensure that they develop recruitment policies that reflect this direction. To the administration and staff of the University of Juba, I would like to commend you for your perseverance in the face of COVID-19 pandemic and economic challenges. Despite these difficulties, you showed commitment to improve students' learning environment. On the wider social context, I would like to advise you to use the relations you build here at the University of Juba to promote social harmony among your people. You came to the University of Juba from different parts of South Sudan and from different communities. The social relations you build while studying are necessary building blocks for regional and communal coexistence. Please keep and cherish them, and even take them with you as you move out to the wider social setting. With these few remarks, I congratulate you all, and once again wish you good luck with the future ahead. Thank you all, and may God bless bless you and bless the Republic of South Sudan. Now having on the occasion of 23rd convocation of the University of Juba, I, as the President and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Juba, would like to donate the following items to the University. One lectures hall. 2, one laboratory for the Department of Civil Engineering, School of Engineering and Architecture. 3, asphalting the internal roads of the main campus of Juba. I give this responsibility to the Minister of Roads and Bridges, who was the former Dean of Students Affairs in the University of Juba, Comrade Simon Juba. He is here to follow all these things. I thank you all for your listening.
Actually, President has just concluded his speech. Actually, and he has made a few of the remarks trying to alert the public and the graduates. Government actually will focus on the improving recruitment policy to pave way for employment. For those who are graduating, will be actually given good opportunities to make sure that they exercise their skills. And actually, President also made a remark on he urged the graduates to go and educate societies on social cohesion to make sure that they are the ambassadors of progress. And also, President made pledges to the University of Juba, whereby one lecture hall will be established at the University for engineering and architecture will be also established at the University of Juba. And President also pledged to expand internal roads leading to University of Juba and directed the Ministry of Roads and Bridges to make sure that expanding of internal roads are really executed as soon as possible. So now those a few remarks from the President, who is also the Chancellor of the University, of the public universities. And this is quite actually promising. He's a promising speech, giving hope to the young graduates as they are going to the competitive job market. Now I'm handing over the microphone to my co-moderator.
نحن من هنا من قلعة الاجتماع والتلميذ العلمي جامعة الجوبا، ونحن ننقل لكم نقل مباشر احتفالات جامعة جوبا بالاحتفال بتخريج الدفعة 23 من الدرجات العلمية المتعددة والمختلفة. كان هذا كلمة رئيس الجمهورية الفريق الأول سيلفا كير مياديد الذي تبرع بعدد من المشروعات لصالح الجامعة ولتحسين البيئة الجامعية، بالإضافة إلى بناء قاعة وأيضا مشروعات أخرى في مجالات متعددة. وما زلنا ننقل لكم هذه الاحتفائية التي يشرفها السيد رئيس الجمهورية بحضور وزير التعليم العالي السيد جابرييل شانسون وزير التعليم العالي والبحث العلمي، وأيضا عدد من الضيوف والمدير جامعة جوبا بروفيسور كي وعدد كبير جدا من الضيوف. والوضع الآن كل الطلاب موجودين، الأسر الفرحة عارمة، مجموعة كبيرة من الخريجين الذين تعبوا وسهروا الليالي للوصول إلى هذا اليوم الجميل. وأيضا
or in absentia to the appropriate bachelor's degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privilege, and responsibility of the said degree. The candidates are aware of fine art and drama and music, total of 5 students. Chancellor, I present to you this candidate to the admission to the award of the said degree.
Thank you, Professor Justin John Bailey. The next is the Dean of the School of Community Studies and Rural Development, Assistant Professor Abel Gag.
كان هذا عميد كلية الموسيقى والدراما، والآن كلية دراسات المجتمع والتنمية الريفية.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented fulfill the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to appropriate diplomas or bachelor's degree are entitled to be admitted to the privileges and responsibilities of the sector. A rural development community college in absentia. The total number of graduates are 11. Award of basic community studies in the degree, food and nutrition registered graduates are 14. Award of degree BSc in community studies social work registered graduates are 17. Award of degree of BSc in development communication, the registered graduates in absentia are 47. award of degree BSc in Library and Information Science. The registered graduates are 16. Award of BA in Rural Development. The registered graduates are 48. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said diplomas or degrees. Thank you very much.
The next dean who's going to announce the number of his graduating students is the dean of the School of Arts and Humanities, Assistant Professor Dr. Ashal Olaifonso. You are welcome. Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now be presented fulfill the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate bachelor's degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said degree. The candidates in total are 90 from the Department of French, Geography, History, Mass Communication, Philosophy, and Psychology. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to be to the admission to the award of the said degrees. Thank you. Yeah, we are still with the list of the deans of schools. The fourth dean now coming is the Dean of the School of Computer Science and Information Technology. Assistant Professor Dr. James Osoro Mark. You are welcome. Thank you. Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to appropriate bachelor or degree or diploma, and are satisfied to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said diplomas. The candidates are in total 84. 81 are diplomas in both departments, information and computer science. 3 are in bachelor degrees in both departments, information and computer science. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said bachelor degrees or diplomas. Thank you. Yes. School of Education, Assistant Professor Dr. Awad Hussein Karela. Chancellor, may you allow me to call Dr. Paride Oyster to read on my behalf. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate bachelor's degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank. Privileges and responsibilities of the said degrees. Award of Bachelor of Education Arts, Department of Arabic, Language and English, 6 graduates. Award of Bachelor of Arts, English Language and Literature, 31 graduates. Award of Bachelor of Education Arts, Geography and History, 29 graduates. Award of Bachelor of Education, Science in Biology and Chemistry, 12 graduates. Award of Bachelor of Education, Science in Mathematics and Physics, 15 graduates. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said degrees. Thank you.
Yeah. As I said earlier, we need really to save time. And now please, the deans who are coming, just say the total number and no breakdown. No breakdown into departments, just the total number. Rain is coming and we need to hurry up and allow also His Excellency the President to go on other official duties. The coming dean, that is dean number 6, we are almost coming to an end. That is Dean of the School of Law, Assistant Professor Dr. Al-Fatih Cholwal. Please welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the Bachelor of Laws and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said degree. Total number of candidates is 81. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the Bachelor of Laws. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Al-Fatih, for adhering to the new instruction. The coming dean is Dean of the School of Medicine, Associate Professor Dr. Rose Costa Mopor. Please, you are welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for the admission in person or in absentia to the Bachelors of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, and they are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said degrees. The candidates are 39 in total, of which 12 are females. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said degree. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. The only female dean among us here today. Dean of the School of Natural Resources and Environmental Studies, Associate Professor Dr. Salah K. Dubara. You're welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate diploma or bachelor degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said diplomas or degrees. The total number of candidates for both diploma and degrees are 45. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said diploma or degrees. Thank you so much.
Next is the Dean of the School of Social and Economic Studies, Assistant Professor Dr. Abraham Kwanywan. You're welcome.
Chancellor, sir, I certify to you and the university that the candidate now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for the admission in the person or in absentia to the appropriate diploma and bachelor's degrees and are entitled to be admitted in the ranks, privileges, and responsibilities of the said diplomas and degrees. Is to be awarded in total in diploma and degrees at the College of Social and Economic Studies is 255. Chancellor, sir, I present to you this candidate to the admission to the award of the said diplomas and the degrees. Thank you.
Yeah, your appreciation is unmistakably obvious among our graduates. The next dean is the Dean of the School of Management Sciences, Assistant Professor Anthony Duku. You're welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate diploma or bachelor's degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said diplomas or degree. In total, we have diploma and bachelor degree 354. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said diplomas and degrees. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Anthony Duku. Our next dean is the Dean of Graduate College, Professor Erneo Bernardo Okay. You are welcome, Professor.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the condition prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate postgraduate diploma, master's degree, and PhD are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said diplomas, masters, and Doctor of Philosophy. Postgraduate diploma in International Relation 11, in Business Administration 6, in Public Administration 25, in Human Rights 13, in Development Studies 3, Masters in Accounting and Finance 25, Masters in English Language 1, in teaching English as foreign language 10, in Economics 29, in Economic Development and Policy Analysis 20, in International Relations 22, in Comparative Politics 5, in Laws LLM 40, in Rural Development 25, in Business Administration 92, in Public Administration 25, in Education 2, in Emergency Education 1, in Animal Production 1, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Philosophy in Rural Development 3, Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science 2. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said postgraduate diploma, master's degree, and Doctor of Philosophy. Thank you very much.
Now the next dean is the Dean of Institute of Peace, Development and Security Studies, Associate Professor Dr. Mario Awed. You're welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidate now to be presented have fulfilled the condition prescribed for the admission in person or in absentia to the privileges of a postgraduate diploma and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of said diploma or degree. The candidate for postgraduate diploma in diplomatic and international studies total are 5. Candidate for postgraduate diploma in humanitarian and conflict studies are 21. Candidate for diploma in peace and development studies are 22. Postgraduate diploma in security and strategic studies are 16. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of the said postgraduate diploma. Award of master's degrees. Master's degree registered for humanitarian and conflict studies, 8.
award of Master for Security and Strategic Studies, 79. Award of Master in Diplomatic and International Studies, 35. Award of Degree in Master's Peace and Development Studies, 63. Chancellor, I present to you this candidate to the admission to the award of the said master's degree. Award for Doctorate of Philosophy. Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that the candidate now to be presented have fulfilled the condition prescribed for the admission in person or in absentia to the appropriate Doctor of Philosophy degree and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of said doctorates. Award Doctorate of Philosophy in Peace and Development. In total, they are 11. Chancellor, I present to you this candidate to the admission to the award of said Doctor of Philosophy degree. Thank you very much.
And finally, we are coming to the last dean, who is the dean of the School of Public Service, Assistant Professor Dr. Paul Gallatin. You are welcome.
Chancellor, I certify to you and to the university that candidates now to be presented have fulfilled the conditions prescribed for admission in person or in absentia to the degree of Masters in Public Policy and are entitled to be admitted to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said Masters. The candidates are 44 in number. Chancellor, I present to you these candidates to the admission to the award of Master's degree in Public Policy. Thank you very much.
Now, I have the honor to call upon the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology to come and welcome the Chancellor. Okay. Now I call upon His Excellency, the President of the Republic and the Chancellor of all public universities in the country to come and dissolve the convocation.
Now the presentation from various deans of schools have been concluded, and now the President is taking the stage to make sure that this convocation is dissolved.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chancellor of the University of Juba, I now present to each candidate a certificate of admission to the appropriate diploma, bachelor's, master's, postgraduate diploma, PhD degrees, and by so doing shall admit them to the rank, privileges, and responsibilities of the said degrees. dissolving the convocation. By the powers vested in me as the Chancellor of the University of Juba, I hereby declare the 23rd convocation dissolved. Thank you very much.
President has finally declared the dissolution of the convocation 23rd of the University of Juba, and now finally they are becoming graduates because now they have received their certificates of awards, so they are no longer graduates, they are becoming graduates. So
His Excellency taking photos with
now
the Deputy Vice Chancellor and Vice Chancellor, Juba University, and also with
now following the dissolution of the convocation 23rd, now President is taking a group photo with various educationalists, including Vice Chancellor of University of Juba University and other universities. And finally, the national anthem has been sung to make sure that President exits the convocation.
and his accompanying delegation will leave the venue.
Okay. Now, President is leaving for other executive duties as a convocation has been dissolved. As you can see, graduates are so excited to be awarded today as they expect to go and execute their job skills. As you can see, President is going and is being accompanied by the delegation, going back to execute executive duties. Convocation has been dissolved, and finally they are becoming now graduates. They are no longer graduates because they have received their certificates of awards. Now about 2,000 graduates actually receiving their certificates in different fields. And a few remarks from the president. The president actually said the government will make sure that the recruitment policy is revised to make sure that whoever graduating actually gets employed. This is the policy. And also he promised University of Juba one lecture room and also directing the Ministry of Roads and Bridges to establish internal roads linking University of Juba to other parts. Now I'm giving the microphone to my colleague.
وبهذا نصل إلى السيد رئيس الجمهورية غادر الآن المبنى وبعد تخريج كوكبة من خريجي
Okay guys, I'm going to stop this because of the news. Okay, bye.